I'm Michelle and this is my Woolly Mumpkins channel. If this is the first time you've seen me, please subscribe, then you won't miss any of my lovely woolly adventures. In today's video we're going to discuss a project that I've got involved with. It's being run by Sara John. She runs Woolly Wales and she's a weaver and a wool producer. She is currently working on a big experiment which I'm sure she'll reveal herself on her own Instagram and other channels that she has. But for now I'm going to show you my part in it. So on the back here, I particularly like this. Can you see that there? It's a QR code. Now these have really come into their own since lockdown started. It's really made people much more aware of them. So I'm going to click on, you get your smartphone, you put your camera on, which I'm not sure if you're going to see this because of the sun, but you hover over and eventually, did you see that come up there then? Let's see if I can get it on the camera. It says open woolywales.co in Safari, so I'm going to tap on that and it takes us to Sara's website and it tells us all about the Welsh Wool Project. It shows us, there's some messages here. It shows us the sheep that she rears, and these are the three brands that this particular yarn has been spun with. It's Llanwenog, Texel and Blueface Leicester. So you can go on there yourself and see all of the really interesting stuff that Sara's put together. But for now, we're going to dye this yarn. She's asked me to acid dye it and to crochet it. So we're going to pop it in the acid dye bath now and then we'll show you it being dyed. I'm going to treat it the same way as I treat all of my pure wool yarns. So the first thing I do, I pop a cable tie on it loosely, just so that I can keep it all from tangling. And now we're going to pop it into the dye bath. So I've got it in with some other yarn that I'm going to be dyeing up today at some point. There we go. Not going to agitate it too much. Can you hear this? Little clicking. I've not had that before. Must be air bubbles, but I can't see any coming to the surface. Oh, there we are, they're finally making their way up now. We just get the dye pot ready. I'm going to put some citric acid in. I'm going to be using a Jacquard acid dye. This one is called Yellow Sun. Let's see if you can guess what I'm going to be making with the finished colourway. Now for anybody living in Wales at the moment, it's going to be easy to guess because these beautiful things are everywhere at the moment. They're at the roundabouts, they're in people's gardens. I want a nice rich yellow. Any guesses? I'll give you a little clue. It's not dandelions. But I just thought a lovely feature of our hillsides and valleys can now be immortalised in wool. Okay, so I'm going to add some water to this now and bring it to the correct temperature. So sometime later, our dye is ready. It's at the right temperature, the right pH. Our yarn here is soaked to perfection. So we're ready to pop it in. Just going to give it a little stir. Okay. So here we go, yarn. I'm going to dip it first. I don't want it one colour all over. I want it to be a semi-solid. So I'm going to give it. So can you see how the yellow is already been slurped up by the yarns? Okay, so I'm just going to leave that to rest like that for a moment. Pop the lid back on so that the yarn that's in there can become as vibrant as possible. Whilst we're waiting for that, just popping the dyes away. Okay, so let's have a look at this. The vibrancy there of that colour. Stunning. That with the sun on it is going to be absolutely beautiful. Okay, we're going to get on the rest of the yarn now. Knowing that we've got the deepest of the yellows captured. Can you see there the difference between the two? Oops, there. It's the one that's been in longer, and this is the one that's just recently been added. I'm going to swirl it around. I don't work the yarn too much because it is pure wool, don't want it to felt, but at the same time you get a feel for it. So I'm just looking because I don't want any of the yellow to be too pale, I don't want it to look washed out, but at the same time I definitely want the colour texture to be there. Okay, so I'm going to do this again. Get the dark in there, that's it. Okay, so we're going to leave this to exhaust now. Next step will be taking it out of the pan. So I always leave some out to make sure I've got that semi-solid happening. The yarn's dry, but because it's quite late at night, you can't really see. This is the darker colour, this is the lighter colour. I'm trying to find different ways to show you. Right, well, I'm going to wind it into a ball now so I can crochet. It's feeling really nice. So I've lightly steam ironed them because I want to keep the texture that's been hand spun into the yarn. But I did want some definition. I wanted the trumpet edges to be over nicely, like they are, and to stand proud. Oops, you can stand proud when you move it. And I wanted the edges of the petals to be flatter than they were because they were curling up. But at the same time give that blousy effect of the daffodil that we know and love. So that's going to be sewn onto there now, like that. I'm going to sew the ends in, tidy it up. Be right back. Bye.